Hello, Humanities 101 students. I'm Dr. Hazlett. I am your professor for this semester, and I wanted to post a little introduction to welcome you to the class as a 12-week student and also explain a few things for you so that you know how to get started. This is Humanities 101, and you are starting this class 3 weeks into the semester. And the class is, your class is joining the other 15-week courses into a larger discussion community in Google Classroom so that we can benefit from all of these experiences and you get to interact with quite a few students, even though you get the benefit of that and the one-on-one with me. So all of our classroom material is found in Google Classroom. That information can be found in your welcome materials that were emailed to you or can be found on the classroom interface that the college uses. But that code is live, is active. If you're having trouble logging on, that's probably because the email that you're using is restricted. Some people, if they're using institutional emails from a school of theirs or a company of theirs, they are restricted. There is nothing nefarious about my Google Classroom other than the fact that it is a nonprofit Google Classroom uh, and it has some fairly high security settings for your protection. Um, which leads me to how you turn in your materials because everything is on Google Classroom, which means that you can submit your materials as files or you can give me access to files. I highly recommend you giving me access to files by utilizing the Google Drive um, and simply sharing that access with the emails provided to you in the course material. My HFC one and then the humanities101.org email. I provide access to both, and then you can rescind access to both at the end of the semester. And that way you keep control of your information. All of this can be found under the classwork section in the Google Classroom, and there are a couple different assignments. There is a set of mandatory assignments and a set of menu assignments. The mandatory assignments are the never attended assignment, which you need to do the very first week of class. It is simply an introduction. I would do it within the first couple days, and then it's checked off and done, and I can mark you attended. That is a federal government and college requirement. I don't have control over that. You have to do that in order to show that you're actively participating in the class. The second mandatory assignment is a response to one of the videos that you might check out on this Humanities 101 uh, YouTube channel. I go live every Tuesday at noon to talk about course information, talk about some of the menu assignments, maybe even general current events, depending on what's going on. But on Tuesdays, I'll be talking about the various class and course assignments. The midterm mandatory assignment, which is due November 1st, is a response to any of the YouTube videos. So you can respond to the Tuesday discussions, but I also have interviews. And throughout the semester, I'll be posting other videos. There are lectures up there. There are even background information lectures for the menu assignments, right? And so if you're doing the 20th century menu assignment, there's a YouTube lecture on our channel, and a lot of students can, again, kill two birds with one stone in that they're watching one of the videos I made for their assignment. And while they're watching that video for their assignment, they're also getting this response assignment done because all the midterm assignment asks you to do is respond to one of these videos. This is how I'll communicate with you via email and via this channel. And so one of your participation requirements is that you engage with this channel, watching the videos, posting comments, but even sending questions to me. So if you have questions or concerns about any of the content or whatever, then, again, engage with it. Let me know. This is a community of learning, right? And so we are going to learn together. And that's the great thing about humanities class as opposed to others, is that it is a constantly changing field in that I am here. 'Cause 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 I am here. to be an educated and an expert observer of humanity and kind of guide the class through our collective analysis of humanity, okay? And the things that make us human. So the other things that you'll find beyond the two mandatory assignments are a bunch of menu assignments. You only have to, and somebody might look at this coursework and they'll say, oh my gosh, there's so many assignments, but you only have to complete two of those. That's explained to you in the course material. Two of those assignments are mandatory. If you want to do more, you can, and you will be rewarded for such. But if you want to get a bare minimum passing grade, you have to do two mandatory assignments and two menu assignments. You choose any two. However, these are not quick assignments. These are not something that you can read on Tuesday and have produced on Wednesday, because there are readings, videos. I even suggest movies for some of these. And one of the assignments has you immerse yourself into a decade and study the decade of American history. And so that may require a little bit more nuanced study. And when I say study in humanities class, that may be watching music videos from MTV in the 1980s so that you can get a sense of the culture. That may be analyzing advertisements or even commercials to understand the culture of the 1950s. Um, or, walking to local public areas if you're doing the accessibility assignment, to look at how accessible or inaccessible that public space is. There are assignments on history, there are assignments on culture, there are assignments on food, there are assignments on music. Really, this class is a choose your own adventure class, so you get to choose the menu assignments, thus the main menu, and turn those in. Those are all the coursework is due by the December deadline. And a lot of students get into this class and they see that December deadline and they say, well, surely there are other deadlines. That's why I set the November 1st one for you. If you need a midterm goal post, then that's your goal post. I highly recommend students having one menu assignment in by then, right? Because that kind of is how it works out. You have a month per assignment, month and a half per assignment. You get one done now, between now and November 1st. You get another one done between November 1st and December 6th. And so that way you're not rushing to get everything done either at the beginning or the ending of the semester, and you can take your time to immerse yourself into the topic. I don't want you simply reading about these things. I want you to immerse yourself into it. Okay, so if you've taken a sociology class where it's talked about ethnography, things like this is similar to what we're doing. Okay, we're not taking quite such a social science approach to humans. We don't particularly take an individual psychological approach or historical approach. All of the approaches into account, because how we even define and see ourselves as human says so much about who we are as humans. Okay, so you have two mandatory assignments, two menu assignments. Your grade kind of is broken down by those menu assignments, 25% each. The mandatory assignments, 25% of your grade. So menu assignment 1 is 25%, menu assignment 2 is 25%, mandatory assignments another 25%, and the last 25% is participation. And a lot of students say, how do I participate in an asynchronous online class? You do so by engaging with the content. Just as we do in the 21st century, in other realms other than academia, we show that we're here by participating and engaging, and that's what I want you to do. So you can respond to other people's comments, you can comment yourself, you can like, you can share, you can do all of that stuff. However, being at the live recordings on Tuesdays, popping into the various social media sections when I have office hours, engaging with me, even setting up Google Meets. I have students that a group of them decide that they want to do a project, even though all five of those students are doing a different decade or a different food artifact, they're all doing the food anthropology assignment. And therefore, they would like to sit down with me and have a little mini class on that. I am okay with that. I am 100% down with that. I will meet you in the middle of the night. I will meet you in the early morning. I will meet you in the afternoon, whenever. It is now 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, and here I am recording a welcome video because I woke up and I thought, hey, I'm getting all these emails. Maybe I should respond to this with a video. So again, respond, adapt, kind of overcome stuff. So if you want to meet with me one on one, if you want to meet with me with a group, heck, if you want to meet with me on campus in person, we can make that happen. The only thing stopping that access is you asking. Okay. And I know that that may be a leap for some of you to say, I don't want to ask the professor for help. However, I don't know that you need it if you don't ask for it. And I am more than willing to offer it. Okay. In a humanities class, that's kind of should be where we take into account your humanity. If not in this class, then where? So I've just discussed your grades. I've discussed the assignments. The Google Classroom is up. All of the coursework is posted already. So a lot of students will ask me, are they waiting for another shoe to drop? No, everything is there for you. However, depending upon your questions, depending upon how you guys engage the material, the things that you ask, the things that you talk about with each other, those Tuesday lectures are going to be responsive to your questions and your ideas. So, for instance, if somebody is talking about pizza rolls in the comment section of the assignment, let's just say, so, because there's a section where we can even get into discussion within the assignment section of Google Classroom. And let's say somebody is saying, well, I've never had a Totino's pizza roll. That Tuesday, I might sit down with a plate of Totino's pizza rolls and we may talk about how it was the proliferation of Asian food in America and how real egg rolls going on to the supermarket shelves invented the pizza roll, right? And so if you're interested in that, stick around. We'll talk about that some Tuesday, how egg rolls invented pizza rolls. Um, and it's not what you think. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But again, all of those things, I try to again make the information interesting for you and make it relevant to you, because whether you know it or not, something as innocuous as food can be a life-changing and world-shaking thing. Uh, there was almost a war started because someone uh, maybe or may not have laid claim to inventing hummus at one point in this world. And this is not ancient history, this is modern history. Um, so food is political. Right? All of art is political. All the stuff that we talk about in this class, even though we do so through humanities lens, it matters. People may not think it matters, but it does. When I saw Ethan Hawke, an interview with Ethan Hawke, and he was talking, or he's an actor, and he was talking about the importance of art and how a lot of people, poo-poo the arts and poetry, music, cinema, visual art, all of this other stuff, things that we talk about in humanities, even though we do talk about politics and religion and a lot of other things. And Ethan Hawke said, but if you think about it in the most tumultuous times in your life, maybe when you go under lockdown, or when someone dies, or you go through a breakup or something, you try to make sense of all of that through art. You try to make sense of that through finding another human who has experienced that and saying, how did you get through? How did you survive? How did you thrive? And so that's really what we're going to be looking at this semester is how do multiple sets of humans thrive? How do multiple sets of humans survive? How do they define what those two words mean? Because those two words mean different things to everyone. When I think of living versus surviving, right? I have a clear definition in my mind. When I think about what it means to live a good life, I have a definition. You probably do too. And probably both of our definitions are wrong to everyone else. So we'll explore that. Okay. And so that's what this class is about. If you have questions, the best way to get a hold of me is email. A lot of you have already emailed me and you've noticed that you've gotten responses fairly quickly, some of them within seconds of sending that email. This is, again, the benefit of this virtual, online, asynchronous kind of existence. Um, I do try to get to your emails as quickly as I get them. However, I do tell you that because of that online existence, I do have to set some boundaries for my own self, and I set days and times and kind of goals. So, like for instance, Tuesdays I go live on the YouTube channel and on TikTok and in the various other social media platforms, which again you can all find in the Google Classroom social media links. Um, Wednesdays I do grading, so I will sit down and go through all the coursework that's been posted that week, and also in earnest make sure I clean out my emails every Wednesday. And then Thursday, I do kind of a similar thing to Tuesday, even though um, I don't go live on YouTube on Thursdays. I do try to make myself available for Google Meets, other social media discussions if we need to. Just basically making myself available to um, my students, right? Tuesdays I do it during the day. Thursdays I do it during the afternoon and evening, and so that way I kind of hit all the times, right? So that if you wake up anytime between 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. the next day, I'm available for you, either on Tuesday or Thursday, and then that way Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I can focus, give to my family, right, and focus on my girls. I have a wife and a daughter, and then Monday, it's just kind of revving the engine, getting it going, kicking the thing and cursing a little bit. So I do respond to emails, I do all of that stuff. But then Tuesday, I go back to making the donuts. So you know, I am almost on hunker and on call from Monday night till Friday morning. And when you send emails, unless I am sleeping or otherwise, uh, you know, doing something like taking my kid to robotics or feeding myself or something like that, I am in that I'll answer your emails. Okay, I'll respond. And this is important. And the reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes people send emails to me and they don't make it there because they drop a T from my name, right? Or the email, and for some odd reason, the Google system will kick back to you and tell you that there's no email there, but sometimes the college system does not. So students think they send an email and they wait 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 on a response that they'll never get because I never got an email. And then they go away from the class and they're angry because how dare he not respond to my email? I'm telling you that I check emails quickly because I want you to send another one. I want you to annoy me. If you don't get a response, go ahead and send another email. Like again, I'm not asking you to remind me, but I'm asking you to do your due diligence. And if you don't get a response, maybe assume that I'm not ignoring you and that you're not worth my time, right? But maybe assume that it never made it there. And that's a good lesson for life because if I am the kind of person to get emails and ignore them, when you send that second email and say, I'm not sure if this email made it to you, but I did send a first email and that email indicated da 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 da. However, when I sent it, it wasn't urgent. Now it is. Can you please respond? Um, that has a little bit more weight, right? And you might have a professor in another class that if you learn this lesson in my class, it's going to save your butt in another. So I highly recommend you double checking, following up per our last email, okay? Because that skill is going to be beneficial in the future, okay? Um, And if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you are in other classes and you're thinking, is this right? This is the class to ask that, right? So if you're saying, hey, this seems a little weird, why are we doing X, Y, and Z? Feel free. I will honestly, and if I don't have an answer, I'll search it out for you. And if I can't find it, I'll go to the people that have it. And if they can't provide an answer, I want to know why. Um, I'm a student advocate through and through. Okay. So I want to make sure that I advocate for you by allowing you to advocate for yourself in this class. So do not uh, fear sending me that second email and saying, hey, why didn't you respond? And I will tell you in advance, even if you get a terse, short email from me, I'm going to take that lesson. You might be getting that terse, short email because I don't like what I'm learning, but it's good for me to learn that, right? And I'm not going to take it. I'm not one of those people to take it out on students as well. Right? So this isn't going to be a situation where I'm saying, well, they called me out in public. How dare they? I will probably um, brag about you calling me out in public, um, because that's one of my favorite things to do is to be humbled by either my own ignorance or my own pride, or something like that. I love to learn something new, and I love it when people that I'm supposed to be teaching teach it to me, because it goes to show that this whole kind of understanding of power, this whole understanding of knowledge, this whole understanding of understanding is often flawed by other definitions and other things that we see. Power, um, position, privilege, all of those things. So I'm excited about this semester. Please make sure that you take this time, do the never attended assignment, get it knocked out so that you don't even have to think about it. I know a lot of you have already done it. Class starts on Thursday, but that doesn't mean that you can't post it before then, and just have it done. It's a simple introduction. It's not a typical introduction. It's not who you are, where you're from. I'm asking you some different questions, but it's because again, I'm interested in who you are, rather than who people perceive you as. So again, welcome to Humanities 101. If you have questions, I will be here. Tuesday, I'll be live on YouTube. Afterwards, I go live on TikTok again. Uh, I'm usually on TikTok on Thursdays for some informal office hours, and I'm willing to meet you anytime, any place. All right. So even if you want to meet at the diner at 4 a.m. For some eggs and toast while we talk about food anthropology, let's say, and the history of diners. I've got a couple books over here on the history of diners and the history of Detroit versus Flint Tony's. We can do that. I'd be happy to do that. I need a little bit of time to schedule in person meetings because I have to make sure that somebody can get my kid off on the bus if it's before 9 o'clock, let's say. But other than that, we can make it happen. So please hit me up. Let me know. Send questions this way. Send your concerns, and I look forward to learning with you this semester. This is literally one of the best jobs in the world, and it's because of students like you. So